In writing this presentation, I do not refer to many studies in detail or by name. If interested in detailed information, please see the full paper for the actual studies. The uses of rewards in educational settings include those items a student perceives as valuable and attainable. One main reward used in an educational setting, though often not recognized as such, are grades. Rewards currently used in educational settings include the use of praise, stickers, food, points, free time, gold stars, honor rolls, money, certificates, longer recess, extra privileges, as well as any item that a student would like to obtain. Understanding and controlling the behavior of students and improving their performance is of major importance to teachers, parents, the students themselves, as well as administrators. Considering performance and behavior is of obvious concern, and interested parties need to understand and appreciate the implications of using rewards. Teachers, parents, and administrators consider, struggle with, and often attempt to influence students by using various methods to improve the behavior and increase the academic performance of students. Because of the interesting and informative studies at every level, this literature review defines educational settings as covering all levels of schooling, including primary, secondary, and post-secondary levels. This literature review considers research from all levels of schooling and asks 3 questions. First, do teachers use rewards in education today? Second, are the uses of rewards in educational settings effective for improving student behavior or improving student performance? Third, should teachers use rewards in educational settings? The intent is to gather information and research results to be able to present answers to these questions. Motivation in students has been defined as a force to stimulate, give direction to, continue, and choose a given behavior or performance. Motivation is important because teachers attempt to motivate students to perform better or behave better. Motivation can be broken down into intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and amotivation. Extrinsic motivation involves engaging in an activity to obtain an outcome separable from the activity itself. Intrinsic motivation refers to performing an activity for its own sake because it is enjoyable and gratifying. Amotivation is an absence of both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, or a lack of motivation altogether. Motivation is an essential factor that learners need for successful learning. Behaviorist theory is based on B.F. Skinner's work on behavior. He found stimulating motivation was a matter of using external or extrinsic factors to motivate the individual. The theory concludes extrinsic rewards are necessary and actually required to motivate an individual for performance and behavioral reasons. Cognitive theory effectively rejects behaviorist theory and rejects rewards on the basis that behaviorism does not recognize human behavior is complex, not just simple cause and effect. Cognitive learning theory suggests that intrinsic motivation is much more important than extrinsic motivation, and intrinsic motivation is required to promote learning. Social learning theory grew initially from behaviorism, but recognized that cognitive learning also provides a basis for understanding motivation, and the theory concludes some rewards use is beneficial. Considering the theories of learning is important because each theory brings its own conclusions on the acceptability of rewards usage. Regardless of which theory of motivation ultimately proves to be more accurate, the use of rewards and punishments proliferate in schools today, and their use and effect must be recognized, considered, and understood. Rewards can be group-based or individual-based. Group rewards are awarded when an identified group, the whole school, the class, or subportions of the class, achieves a specific goal. Group rewards can be subdivided into independent group rewards or interdependent group rewards. Independent group rewards means all students have access to the same rewards for achieving a criterion, but are not held hostage by the whole group. Interdependent group rewards means each individual student receives a reward only if the entire group meets the specific criterion. Individual rewards are those rewards that an individual student can obtain, regardless of what a group or class might achieve. Rewards can be fixed criteria or random criteria. A fixed criteria reward involves identifying the criteria to be met before the effort is expended. An example would be all students in a class must complete all assignments in a given month to get a pizza party. A random criteria reward involves identifying the process to be met before the effort is expended, but the actual specific criteria are determined at the end of the period. An example would be all students in a class must complete a certain number of assignments in a given month to get a pizza party, but the number of assignments is not known until the end of the month, often determined by chance at that point by drawing numbers out of a hat. Rewards can be contingent or chance-based. Contingent rewards include both performance-based and competition-based rewards. Contingent means the reward is based on some criteria. Contingent rewards are dependent on students doing what is required. An example in home life would be that your child finishes their homework, and then they can watch television for an hour. Performance rewards are those providing a benefit to the student for their actual performance. Grades are one type of performance reward, and another performance reward example would be to provide free time if the student achieves a specific mark. Competition rewards involve students competing against each other, and the result is only a limited number of students actually obtain the reward. Chance-based rewards are those rewards left entirely to chance, such as drawing the names out of a hat. Rewards can be tangible or intangible. Tangible rewards are something an individual can collect and physically touch, such as drinks, candy, chips, computer time, school supplies, stickers, prizes, and money. Intangible rewards involve non-physical rewards such as praise, points, recognition, and free time. Students can usually trade intangible points for tangible items, such as food or toys. Rewards can be delivered in a private manner or a public display. Private communication might include talking privately to the individual, posting the rewards without identifying information, providing a personal note or phone call to the individual or parent. Public communication might include disseminating the information before a wider audience, such as delivering the word before classmates, openly posting the information, speaking before other individuals including teachers, parents, or at an assembly. In a number of papers, Duggan, an opponent of reward usage, indicated rewards should not be used for behavior changes or performance improvement, that usage of rewards negatively affect effective motivation, specifically enhancing extrinsic motivation while diminishing intrinsic motivation. Other writers soon agreed. Duggan had performed a meta-analysis of 128 experiments, and their conclusions, based on that data, indicated that rewards absolutely negatively affected intrinsic motivation. However, Duggan recognized that verbal rewards, given in a non-controlling method, enhanced intrinsic motivation, that unexpected tangible rewards and non-contingent tangible rewards did not affect intrinsic motivation. Regardless, Duggan determined that teachers should not focus on rewards to motivating students, but instead should focus more on how to facilitate intrinsic motivation. Please see the full paper for the actual studies and details. However, other authors, including Cameron, had found just the opposite, that extrinsic motivation does not negate intrinsic motivation, that rewards usage therefore is not automatically negative. Cameron disagreed with the meta-analysis performed by Duggan, indicating it was performed incorrectly. Cameron redid the meta-analysis and indicated negative effects of rewards were actually minimal, if present at all. The majority of the reviewed studies on improving behavior shows a positive relationship between reward usage and improved behavior. Studies were across the various levels of schooling, primary, secondary, and post-secondary. Studies were from different countries, and many concerned dealing with serious behavior issues, not just normal classroom antics. The majority of the reviewed studies on improving performance shows a positive relationship between reward usage and improved performance. Some studies, Duggan et al. 2001 and Cohn 1999 among others, reported decreased in performance or potential performance issues down the road. These issues were reported as arising from the negative effect of rewards on intrinsic motivation. Studies were across the various levels of schooling, primary, secondary, and post-secondary, and were from different countries. One attribute research studies noted indicates gifted and non-gifted students have a different preference when teachers offer rewards in class settings. Gifted students prefer competition-based reward the most, performance-based rewards next, and chance-based rewards least of all. Non-gifted students preferred performance-based rewards the most, competition-based rewards next, and chance-based rewards least of all. These findings show gifted students and non-gifted students react differently to competition-based and performance-based rewards. Differences in preferences about reward usage in classrooms are also apparent when student gender is considered. Male students preferred tangible rewards such as prizes and class outings. Female students preferred intangible rewards such as praise, a letter home, or a good mark. The IQ of a given student is often associated with distinct preferences about reward usage in classrooms, and teachers would do well to understand and consider the student's IQ. Higher IQ students prefer contingent-based rewards, including competition-based and performance-based rewards, and dislike chance-based rewards. Lower IQ students prefer chance-based rewards instead of the contingent-based rewards, both competition and performance-based. This is understandable because lower IQ students would prefer not to compete for the reward against more able students. Locus of control is the extent students feel they can control events in the classroom. An internal locus of control involves a student who believes their efforts or behavior can help them achieve and receive the reward offered. An external locus involves a student who believes their efforts or behavior has little effect on their chance of receiving a reward offered. Students with an internal locus of control performed and behaved better when contingent, competition-based rewards first and then performance-based rewards, are used in the classroom. Students with an external locus of control did not perform or behave better when contingent, the competition, or performance-based rewards are used in the classroom, but they did better with chance-based rewards. Research also indicated a teacher using genuine descriptive praise could have positive influence and could increase a student's internal locus of control. Students preferred receiving a good mark for written work, having a favorable report sent home, a favorable letter sent home, or given free time. One study reported both teachers and students believed a field trip, a good phone call home, and a treat as being desirable and effective rewards. Students expressed a preference concerning the method of communicating the granting of the actual reward. Students preferred rewards be granted in a private manner versus a public one. From praise to getting a tangible reward, students expressed a significant preference that rewards are provided in private. Research studies found when using group rewards, independent group rewards are not as effective as interdependent group rewards. Findings showed that although independent group rewards might be considered fair, adding interdependent group rewards increased the probability of performance improvement in the students involved. These studies about reward usage indicated that interdependent group rewards help motivate students better than independent group rewards. Instead of using a fixed criterion when evaluating a reward assignment, research has found that using a random criterion is much more effective. Random criteria is more effective because students still attempt to achieve, instead of giving up when they know they can no longer meet a known criteria, or stop when they know they have exceeded the known criteria. Studies have confirmed the usage of random criteria is a more effective mechanism than a fixed criterion method. Rewards are part of everyday life. Agreeing on not using rewards in the educational setting seems a daunting task, especially since nearly all educational settings continue to use grades, the ultimate reward. Most people work for rewards, salaries, including teachers and administrators. Charging students to internalize a love of learning is a valid and highly idealized approach, intrinsic motivation, but it seems we hold the rest of the person's life to a different standard. Consider a hospital environment for one moment. We recognize and rejoice volunteers help in various capacities, but we certainly do not expect the nurses, technicians, orderlies, doctors, and administrators to all perform free, purely for the love of helping people. What works, works. If rewards are shown to improve performance and improve behavior, and the negatives have yet to be proven conclusively, I would conclude that rewards should be used in a judicious manner, like any tool a teacher has at their disposal. Obviously, monitoring about the effects of the use of rewards would also be recommended. This literature review considered the first question, do teachers use rewards in education today? The answer is yes. Rewards are indeed used in situations that require behavior modifications. The answer is also yes. Rewards are indeed used as a performance incentive. Grades are the first and most obvious reward. However, tangible and intangible rewards such as praise, points, stickers, food, and financial rewards are used at all levels of schooling. This literature review considered the second question, are the uses of rewards in educational settings effective for improving behavior or improving student performance? The answer is definitely yes for behavioral changes, and yes as well for performance improvement. There is a major meta-analysis study by Decky, Kostner, and Ryan in 2001 indicating many negative effects on intrinsic motivation when using rewards. Cameron in 2001 disagreed with Decky and reported the meta-analysis performed by Decky was performed incorrectly, and negative effects of rewards are actually minimal, if present at all. As well, the question we raise concerns performance, not motivation. This literature review considered the third question, should teachers use rewards in educational settings? The answer is yes for improving behavior. For performance, because of the concerns by Decky et al., reward use should be used judiciously. While there are arguments that rewards usage negatively affects intrinsic motivation, reviewed studies have shown significant improvement in both behavior and performance with rewards usage. Until definitive studies absolutely reject rewards usage and provide results from experimental studies, as well as a new approach moving away from grades, rewards usage will continue to play a part in today's schools. A number of limitations concerning reward usage are recognized in the reviewed studies. The first limitation by far was that many of the studies used questionnaires versus actual observations as a data collection method. A second well-recognized limitation was the sample sizes tested were comparatively small, and the actual periods of the studies were short. A third limitation often recognized was the studies were often not diverse in nature. Thus, a concern is raised over the ability to generalize the findings. A fourth limitation involved performing the studies at different levels of schools, primary, secondary, and post-secondary, to ensure the test results were the same across levels. Other limitations included a concern about potential participant bias, if studies from different countries or cultures can be generalized to our country, and that studies should be performed in the real world versus controlled testing situations. Most of the studies recommended further research considering different school levels, different age groups, and populations that are more diverse. Thank you for your attention.